Welcome to Optimum Output. Are you tired of living paycheck to paycheck, overwhelmed by debt, or finally looking to take control of your finances? Dave Ramsey's The Total Money Makeover offers a step-by-step roadmap to break free from financial stress and build a future of economic security and peace. With a straightforward approach and real-life stories of people who transformed their financial lives, Ramsey shows that anyone can achieve financial freedom, regardless of income or starting point. In this summary, we'll dive into the heart of Ramsey's proven method, exploring his famous baby steps, debunking common money myths, and revealing how small behavioral changes can lead to significant financial wins. Whether new to Ramsey's teachings or need a refresher, this guide will inspire you to take action and start your own total money makeover. Get ready to shift your mindset, build lasting wealth, and step confidently toward a debt-free life. Dave Ramsey's baby steps are the core of the Total Money Makeover and serve as the roadmap for anyone looking to take control of their financial life. Each step is grounded in personal stories, real-world experiences, and Ramsey's monetary journey. Here's how each of the 7 baby steps unfolds, told with the same storytelling tone and engaging examples found in the book. Step 1. Save $1,000 in an emergency fund. The journey begins with a humble yet crucial goal: saving $1,000 for emergencies. For many, $1,000 seems too small to make a difference, or a mountain that feels impossible. Ramsey often recounts stories of families who scraped together the amount by cutting out small luxuries like dining out or their cable TV subscriptions. One memorable story is of a couple who sold their unused exercise bike and second car, finding cash they didn't realize they had sitting in their garage. This step involves getting your financial life off life support by preparing for the unexpected. The $1,000 fund is your Murphy repellent, because Murphy's Law hits hard when you're unprepared. Step 2. Pay off all debt except your mortgage, using the debt snowball. Once you've got that initial $1,000, it's time to face the beast: debt. Ramsey vividly paints how debt strangles families, with stories of people drowning under the weight of multiple loans, credit cards, car payments, and personal loans. His solution, the debt snowball method, encourages attacking the smallest debt first, regardless of interest rates, while making minimum payments on the others. The psychological boost of small victories, like a couple who shared the joy of paying off their last credit card bill with a celebratory dance, gives momentum. In this step, debt isn't about numbers. It's about building emotional and psychological triumphs to gain speed. Step 3. Save 3 to 6 months of expenses in a fully funded emergency fund. In this step, Ramsey shifts from defense to offense. Now that your debt is out, it's time to build a solid safety net to protect you from more significant financial crises. Imagine a rainy day when life throws unexpected blows: a job loss, a car accident, or sudden medical expenses. Ramsey tells stories of families who found themselves jobless for months, yet survived without panic because of their emergency fund. A fully funded emergency account is more than financial security. It gives you peace of mind and the freedom to choose without desperation. This fund, covering 3 to 6 months of expenses, is your financial fortress. Step 4. Invest 15% of your household income in retirement. Once you're financially stable, Ramsey introduces the idea of building wealth, starting with preparing for retirement. He recalls stories of people who delayed investing, only to realize how much time and compound interest they should have paid more attention to. Conversely, he shares the success stories of couples who began investing 15% of their income early, watching their nest egg grow exponentially. He encourages investing in tax-advantaged accounts like 401ks and IRAs. This step is about taking responsibility for your future, so you're not dependent on Social Security or hoping to live off your children. Step 5. Save for your children's college fund. For parents, securing a bright future for their kids is the next step. Ramsey paints a vivid picture of parents burdened by their children's impending college costs and the anxiety of them possibly being saddled with student loan debt. He shares stories of parents who started early, saving for their children's education using education savings accounts, ESAs, or 529 plans. For many, it was about breaking a generational curse of student debt, allowing their kids to graduate college debt-free. Ramsey's mantra here is simple. It's better to start small now than struggle to catch up later. Step 6. Pay off your home early. By now, your only remaining debt should be your mortgage, and Ramsey sets a bold challenge. Pay it off early. He tells stories of families who made this dream a reality by aggressively tackling their mortgage, sometimes paying it off in as little as 5 to 7 years instead of the traditional 30-year span. One story is of a couple who lived in a modest home, but doubled their payments, sacrificing vacations and luxuries to become entirely debt-free. The joy they experienced when they held a mortgage-burning party encapsulated Ramsey's message. True financial freedom comes when you own your home outright. Step 7. Build wealth and give. The final step in the journey is not just about personal gain. It's about leaving a legacy. Ramsey shares touching stories of people who, having achieved financial freedom, found their greatest joy in giving generously, whether donating to charities, helping a struggling neighbor, or funding a mission trip. This step is about making an impact. Wealth building isn't just about accumulation, it's about having the ability to give back. Ramsey encourages the idea that the ultimate goal of wealth is to help others, and his stories of joyful givers reflect this sentiment. These baby steps are more than a plan. They're a lifestyle shift. Each step is carefully designed to create a financial peace, one milestone at a time. Through the power of storytelling, Ramsey demonstrates how ordinary people can achieve extraordinary economic success. 2. Behavior over knowledge. The key to financial success. Personal finance is 80% behavior and only 20% knowledge. Dave Ramsey contends that most people know what they should do with their money, but their habits and mindsets hold them back. Through a series of vivid stories and examples, Ramsey illustrates that financial success is not reserved for those with high salaries or advanced degrees in finance. It's for those who can control their impulses and change their behaviors. One story that Ramsey shares involves a couple named John and Sarah, who found themselves drowning in debt despite a combined income well into the 6 figures. John was a successful engineer and Sarah was a project manager, yet they struggled to pay their bills every month. They were constantly stressed, arguing about money and feeling defeated. They knew they needed to budget, save, and avoid unnecessary expenses. But despite their knowledge, they couldn't seem to put their plans into action. They'd buy new cars when they received bonuses, go on expensive vacations, and have a habit of treating themselves with retail therapy. It wasn't until they attended one of Ramsey's seminars that they had their aha moment. Ramsey challenged them to recognize that their financial woes were rooted in their habits. He explained that while they knew how to budget, they hadn't prioritized it. Through his tough love approach, he pointed out that their income was more than enough to live debt-free, if they were willing to change. Ramsey encouraged them to get serious about behavior modification, to start saying no to themselves, and to prioritize long-term financial health over short-term gratification. Another memorable story is that of a man named Dave, who realized he had to change his thoughts about money after surviving a financial disaster. Having gone bankrupt due to bad real estate investments, Dave felt he knew more than most about what not to do with money. Yet, as Ramsey explains, Dave's turning point came not from acquiring more financial knowledge, but from transforming his behaviors and beliefs about money. Dave became meticulous with spending, adopted a strict budget, and began living well below his means. He shifted his mindset to one where money was a tool for stability rather than status. He built his way back to financial security through discipline and behavioral change. Ramsey often uses the example of dieting to drive home his point. Most people know how to lose weight, eat less, move more, and avoid junk food. However, following through on this knowledge is the hard part. He argues that the same logic applies to money. People may know they should save, avoid debt, and live within their means, but knowledge alone isn't enough without a shift in behavior. Like crash diets rarely work in the long term. Short bursts of financial discipline often fizzle without a foundation of consistent, disciplined habits. Mastering personal finance doesn't come from memorizing financial theories or following market trends. Instead, it requires a conscious effort to change behaviors, discipline, and cultivate a mindset that prioritizes long-term financial well-being over fleeting pleasures. Anyone can achieve financial success, but only if they are willing to change their habits and mindset. 3. Living debt-free, escaping the debt trap for good. Debt is the ultimate enemy of financial freedom. Dave calls it a trap that enslaves people to their past decisions, robbing them of future prosperity. Ramsey's disdain for debt isn't just theoretical, it's grounded in personal experience and the countless stories he shares of people who've broken free from its grip. One of the most compelling stories is about a young couple, Mike and Jessica, living the American dream, or so they thought. They owned a beautiful home with a hefty mortgage, 2 brand new cars on financing, and several credit cards they constantly juggled. On the outside, they appeared to have it all, but inside, they were suffocating under the weight of their debts, living paycheck to paycheck and barely managing the minimum payments. When an unexpected medical bill hit, they faced the harsh reality. They were one emergency away from financial ruin. Mike and Jessica knew they had to change, so they committed to Ramsey's plan. They began by selling one of their cars and trading down to an older used vehicle they could buy with cash. They cut back on dining out and canceled their gym memberships, finding creative ways to stay active without the monthly fee. However, perhaps the most transformative step was using Ramsey's debt snowball method. They listed all their debts from smallest to most significant, regardless of interest rates, and began paying off the smallest debt first. The initial victory of clearing that first credit card, which had haunted them with high interest, felt like shedding a ton of emotional weight. Ramsey recounts how Mike and Jessica felt immediate relief and motivation after paying off that first debt. They attacked the next one and then the next, gradually building momentum. They found that each debt they erased didn't just improve their financial situation. It boosted their confidence, making them feel more in control of their lives. By sticking to the debt snowball method, they eliminated tens of thousands of dollars in debt over a few years. Ramsey highlights that this approach isn't just about numbers, It's about celebrating small wins that make the more significant goal achievable. Ramsey also shares the story of a single mother, Karen, who struggled financially after her divorce. Her ex-husband had left her with mounting credit card debt and with only one income to support herself and her 2 children. Karen felt trapped. Her turning point came when she read Ramsey's advice about cutting up credit cards. Taking a pair of scissors, she ceremonially destroyed each of her cards, vowing never to borrow money again. With limited resources, Karen embraced a cash-only lifestyle, using an envelope system to allocate money for essentials like groceries, utilities, and transportation. The discipline was challenging, but as she paid off her debts individually, she felt a sense of freedom she hadn't known in years. Ramsey's stories emphasize that living debt-free isn't just about financial strategy, it's about reclaiming control over one's life. He shares the example of a retired couple, Bob and Mary, who decided to downsize and sell their dream home to pay off their remaining mortgage. They moved into a smaller house, feeling lighter and more liberated than ever. With no mortgage hanging over their heads, they finally felt secure and free to enjoy their retirement without worrying about money. Through these stories, Ramsey paints a vivid picture of how debt can shackle people to their past decisions, limiting their options and burdening their future. However, he also shows that regardless of age or income, anyone can escape the debt trap with discipline and determination. Ramsey's no-debt philosophy is about more than just numbers on a page. It's about peace of mind, freedom, and the ability to live on your terms. By choosing to live debt-free, Ramsey's followers are not just escaping financial obligations. They're unlocking a life of possibility that is no longer constrained by past mistakes. 4. Budgeting, the foundation for financial freedom. Dave calls budgeting the cornerstone of financial success. A budget isn't restrictive, it's freeing. Rather than feeling confined, budgeting means telling your money where to go each month, so you're never left wondering where it went. Through colorful storytelling, Ramsey shows how budgeting transformed the lives of people who once thought they were bad with money into individuals who took control of their finances and futures. One particularly memorable story is about a couple, Tom and Lisa, who were constantly caught in a cycle of overspending. Tom loved eating out, and Lisa had a penchant for shopping. Month after month, they would vow to save more, but without a plan, they found themselves swiping their credit cards and draining their bank accounts just to make it to payday. Ramsey describes the pivotal moment they realized they needed a change. One night, after a stressful argument about their dwindling funds, they laid out every dollar they had spent that month. They were shocked to see how much money had slipped through their fingers. With Ramsey's guidance, Tom and Lisa learned to create a zero-based budget where every dollar has a purpose. They listed their essential expenses: mortgage, utilities, groceries, and transportation. Next, they allocated funds for non-essentials, leaving a specific amount for eating out and personal spending. The critical difference was that they set these limits at the beginning of the month, and once the money was gone, they were done spending in that category. This transformed the way they interacted with their money. Dining out became a treat rather than a routine, and Lisa found joy in hunting for deals and practicing delayed gratification. Another powerful story is that of Mark, a young professional who always seemed to have more month than money. Ramsey recounts how Mark initially resisted the idea of budgeting, viewing it as a chore for people who were terrible with money. However, he gave it a shot after bouncing his checking account several times and facing overdraft fees. Mark discovered that budgeting gave him a sense of control and empowerment he hadn't expected. By knowing exactly where each dollar went, he could stop using his credit cards and build up a small emergency fund. He used Ramsey's envelope system, where he placed cash for different categories, like groceries, gas, and entertainment, into labeled envelopes at the start of the month. Once the envelope was empty, that was it. No more spending. Ramsey also tells the story of Emma, a single mother working 2 jobs using payday loans to make ends meet. Emma was constantly stressed, living paycheck to paycheck, and her children felt the strain too. However, with a zero-based budget, Emma could prioritize her expenses and plan her purchases. She discovered that budgeting freed her from the anxiety of uncertainty. Knowing exactly how much she had for bills, groceries, and other expenses gave her peace of mind, and she eventually paid off her payday loans. By sticking to her budget, she was able to start saving a small amount each month, which allowed her to take her kids on a modest vacation for the first time in years. Through these stories, Ramsey emphasizes that budgeting isn't about deprivation, but clarity and freedom. He argues that budgeting is a skill that anyone can learn, and it's not about perfection. There will be months when unexpected expenses arise, or you overspend in a category. But by continually revisiting your budget and adjusting as needed, you stay in control. Ramsey's goal is to show that budgeting is the foundation upon which the rest of the baby steps are built. Budgeting is more than a tool. It's a life-changing practice that gives people the power to direct their money and ultimately their futures. With every success story, Ramsey shows that budgeting is not just about balancing numbers. It's about reclaiming control, reducing stress, and finding financial peace. 5. Myth-busting. Debunking common money myths. Dave Ramsey dedicates an entire section to debunking widespread financial myths that trap people in debt and bad money habits. Ramsey tackles these myths head-on, showing how they often come from well-meaning advice or societal norms that can lead people astray. One popular myth he busts is that you need a credit score to survive. Ramsey tells the story of Paul, a young professional who had always been told to build his credit by taking out small loans and using credit cards. Paul assumed this was the only way to succeed financially, but Ramsey showed him a different path. By saving cash and avoiding debt, Paul could still buy a car and eventually a home without a credit score, relying on manual underwriting and his healthy savings instead. Another powerful story is of Sarah, a mother of 2 who believed leasing a car was a smart financial move. Convinced by a car dealer that a lease was affordable, she leased new vehicles every few years, always stuck with monthly payments. Ramsey guided her to the realization that by buying a reliable used car outright, she could free herself from the endless cycle of car payments. This gave Sarah a sense of ownership and freedom she had never felt before. 6. No quick fixes. The slow and steady path to wealth. There are no shortcuts to building lasting wealth. Dave Ramsey argues against get-rich-quick schemes and the allure of overnight success, instead promoting a mindset of patience, discipline, and perseverance. Ramsey shares stories of people who chased high-risk investments or quick money schemes, only to find themselves worse off than when they started. One notable story is about Jeff, who drained his savings to invest in a can't-miss stock tip that promised instant profits. Jeff was left with nothing when the investment failed, forced to start from scratch. Ramsey uses this cautionary tale to highlight the dangers of impatience and the illusion of fast wealth. Conversely, Ramsey shares inspiring stories of individuals who embraced slow, steady growth. A couple named Linda and Mark committed to consistent saving and investing over a decade, watching their wealth gradually accumulate through steady contributions to retirement accounts. Over time, they built a solid financial foundation without risky ventures. Proper financial security comes from steady progress, intelligent investments, and a commitment to long-term strategies rather than chasing quick fixes. Conclusion: your journey to financial freedom starts now. The Total Money Makeover is more than just a book. It's a blueprint for transforming your relationship with money and achieving true financial freedom. Dave Ramsey's no-nonsense approach, coupled with real-life stories of ordinary people who took control of their finances, shows that anyone can break free from the chains of debt, develop healthy financial habits, and build lasting wealth. By following the baby steps, embracing disciplined budgeting, debunking common financial myths, and committing to the slow path of steady growth, you too can take charge of your financial destiny. So, are you ready to start your financial makeover? If Ramsey's stories have inspired you, it's time to take action. Dive into this journey with determination, and remember, your future self will thank you. If you found this summary helpful and want more content, don't hesitate to subscribe to our channel for more engaging insights, financial tips, and inspiring stories. Together, let's build a community of financial freedom seekers.